Hey y'all. Okay, so basically I'm here from TikTok. This was a requested video. Let me start from the beginning. Okay, so my mama used to work at a hotel, and like she would always cook breakfast for us. Well, not always, but some mornings she would, and it would be like grits and stuff like that. So like after a while I couldn't keep the grits down, and like nothing clicked in my head like, you pregnant? Cause like I don't know. I just wasn't thinking about it. So one day I had threw up some grits, and like she had just made a doctor's, like she was looking at me funny, like, so she made a doctor's appointment for that next week, and we get to the doctor for a physical, and like he feeling on my stomach, saying like he feel a heartbeat. So I'm like, what? So then he take his little thing off his neck, put it on his ear, and like he put it to my stomach. He's like, that's a fetus. So like I'm looking at my mama and I'm looking at the doctor, because like I'm like, I'm just shook. Like I can't believe it. So then my mama started giving me that look like, girl. So like I just had to start confessing. Basically she was asking me like, what was the boy name, and like why was I, like why would I even go outside, like why would I even sneak out, and like stuff like that. And my doctor was basically saying I might as well tell the truth, because like they here for me and stuff like that. But like I decided to lie instead, because like I was just scared. But I, like, before we even walked out that room, I had to tell my mama the truth, because like I'm lying, and this doctor looking at me like, girl, you know I know the truth. So we get to the front, and like the lady, she gonna tell my mama out loud, because it was like me and my siblings, we all had a physical that day. But she gonna say it out loud like, oh, we can't accept her, but here's OB. Like that was so embarrassing. Like everybody and their mama was looking, and I'm looking like I can't say nothing slick, because my mama already want to kill me. Like I know she want to kill me. So then after we leave the doctor's office, we went to my auntie house, because like her and my auntie, they like real close sisters. Like everybody got that, like they mama got a, like if they got siblings, they got a sister they close to. Okay, so she, like when we get to my auntie house, she walks straight down the hallway to my auntie room, and like I see my cousin coming out her room. So like I'm trying to give her signals, like doing even stomach motions like this, and she looking at me like, so I'm just like, I just forgot about it, because like next thing I know, I seen my auntie coming up the hallway, and like she was just fussing and she was yelling, and she was like, how could you even do that? Why would you even sneak out? Like losing your virginity hurt, I know it hurt, and like stuff like that. So I ain't like, I didn't know what to say, so I'm just like getting yelled at the whole time. Like I ain't say nothing, and it was best for me to keep my mouth shut, like, because for one, like I know like deep down inside they want to hurt me, but like you can't hit a pregnant woman. Try it, hit me. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, like they was hurt too at the same time, because like I was young and like just finishing middle school. Like bruh, that is like top of the line embarrassing, but it is what it is. And like I said before, I love my son and I wouldn't change it for nothing. Like that's just what it is. So like I was saying, I heard my mama like on the phone with my daddy, and like I knew all, because like my mom used to snitch on us. Like if y'all got that mama, they used to call y'all daddy and try to get y'all in trouble. Me too. Like she used to call my daddy and snitch on us. So she had called my daddy, and I thought she told him, but she didn't. So like we stay in like a subdivision, and like my daddy always had speakers. Like he still got them now, even in an old box Chevy. Like he always had speakers. So like I heard him coming up, because like we stayed in a subdivision. So like I heard him coming up the road. Like I knew it. So when I looked out the window, my mom was like, you better go out there and talk to your daddy. He didn't know nothing. So he came up, well, he got out his car and he came walking up. I just sat on the porch in the chair. He came walking up to the porch, and he was like, you got something you want to tell me? Your mama told me to come over because like it was important. Like she said you had something to tell me. I am scared, y'all. Like, my heart was racing because, like, I'm a daddy's girl. So, like, me, like, having to tell him, like, I'm pregnant, like, no, I couldn't stomach it. But, like, I just mumbled it because, like, I was embarrassed, like, to tell my daddy that. So my daddy was like, what? And then he was like he was saying it like he heard me, but he was really saying it to like make sure like that's what he heard. Like his 14-year-old daughter is like pregnant. So like all real, my daddy was like abortion. Like he didn't want to hear it. He just didn't want to hear it. He was gonna pay for it. Like he don't care what the price was. Like that's what it was. So like after that, my mama had to first make an appointment with an OBGYN to make sure like that I could have an abortion, because like around the time I was pregnant, 2012, when you could have abortions. Now I don't know how that works. I don't think you can in certain places, but so it just really depended on the size, like to make sure the baby wasn't too big, like make sure you weren't too far along. So we had to set up that appointment. We went to the OBGYN and like, okay, so my pediatric, because like I wasn't a children's doctor, I was 14. So he was saying like I was like 2 to 3 months pregnant, no more. So like around that time, like if you was like that young, I mean like not that, if you wasn't that far along, then you could. But we had to go confirm it with an OBGYN. So when I get to my OBGYN, he like, she's 6 months pregnant. So I'm like, I just didn't like, I ain't know what to say. And like, I was too far along to get an abortion. So we basically had to accept the fact that like I was 14 and finna have a baby, which I had him 2 months before my 15th birthday. And like, it was crazy. So like when I had to tell my daddy that like we couldn't do it, he was hurt. And like, well, everybody was hurt because like I was young, like everybody was hurt. But I know some people gonna be like, and you ain't had no period. Okay, listen, let me tell y'all this. So when I was 11, I was in the 5th grade. That's when I first started my period. Like I was the first girl. I don't know if I was the first girl, because like none of my friends really, we didn't talk about hygiene, like period stuff in elementary. Like, but okay, so so I had my period for that, you know, the little 7 days, and it was the roughest 7 days of my life. Like for my first period was the rough. I thought I was dying. So eventually, like after that, I didn't have a period until another year. So when I had went to my last physical, my bad. When I went to my last physical, my doctor was like, that's normal. So when I put in the story that like what I thought was my period was really me spotting, it's because like, okay, so at first it was like 3 days and it was just light. And I'm thinking like, okay, maybe like I'm lucky, like I got a 3-day period now, like, okay. And then when it had stopped, I thought, okay, maybe I'm going through the same thing.